Welcome back to another 5-star chat, and this time we're going to be talking about your favorite people and mine, bullies. And we're going to talk about the effects, some of the effects that bullies have on the workforce and on the workplace. I've got 5 of them here for you. There's so many more, but I'm going to talk about 5 of them that I've experienced myself. So settle in. Cheers. To get started, let's first ask ourselves, what is a bully? Okay. From what I've seen, and from maybe what some of you have seen, sometimes a bully in the workforce is simply a person who cannot adapt from one culture to another. You know, maybe they worked in corrections or something, and they're coming to corporate security, and they just assume that everything that the way they did things over here, they can get away with doing over here. And it's not always true. You have to adapt to where you're going, not stay where you were. I was at a place for 20 years before I started this new gig that I'm on, and I have to adapt to some things here. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing things. Everybody has to adapt. Bullies are sometimes people who just can't adapt. Some of them don't even know they're bullies. They really don't. But you warn them. Some of them listen. Some of them don't. The ones who don't, those are the ones you're smiling at as they're getting fired and being walked out the door. You know. But let's talk about some of the effects that bullies have on the workplace. Number 1, and it's a big one, they make it very hard to get a budget from the C-suite. The C-suite, you know who the C-suite is, CEO, CIO, CFO, C3PO, CIEIO, whatever is in that suite. The people making the budgetary decisions. If you have an officer screw up bad enough, visually screw up enough, and the C-suite sees it, it's going to be hard to say, hey, we need money for new equipment. Just, it might be a little bit harder if you embarrass yourselves in front of the C-suite. Quick story, and I got a million stories, and this is one I can tell. We had an officer once. He was a good kid. He was on our 3rd shift. And after a while, he went to the Navy. You know, he was a shy kid. But we had somebody work with him on that. And then he went off to the Navy, and we were all really proud of him. Well, he came back, and he needed a job again, so we brought him back, and he'd become a bully. And what hurt was, he wasn't a very intelligent bully either. No lie. This is a kid who used to clean keyboards and had to take a picture of it with his phone because he couldn't figure out how the letters went back. True story. Please don't laugh at that. It's actually kind of sad. It's a true story, though. But this guy actually was on tour, and he ran into somebody from the C-suite. And the person wasn't displaying their ID badge. And he asked him what it was. And the person said, oh, I'm really sorry. And he went on to sort of chastise this person, not having the badge on. And this person decided, do you know who I am? You know. And he said, no. So he was not a very smart bully because he should have known who this person was and maybe been a little bit more diplomatic about it, you know. Because you can, in that, you know, you can look at a person like that and maybe make a joke out of it, you know. Oh, you're not wearing a badge today, you know. If you've had a few conversations with that person, you know, I would not recommend it at all. But I'm me, and you're you. But don't bully the C-suite, because you won't get any money for anything. Next up, if I can get these pages to turn, put this together pretty quickly so it's a little bit sloppy. The associate population begins to question security recruiting practices. It's true. How did this guy get in here? Why was this guy hired? Who are these people and why are they hiring this kind of person into this work, into our home? You know, and sometimes as an officer, you'll think the same thing. How did this person get through the interviewing process? What happened? A lot of stories I got, but again, as I said in one of my previous videos, I would have to be on my deathbed or retired. So let's move on to number 3. The people begin to see you the same way they see the bully officer. It's true, because we're all dressed the same. So if an officer has bullied somebody or enough people or said the wrong things to people, I'm walking around, I'm wearing the same shirt as that person, whether it's the, hard polyester with the tin badge or it's a polo or whatever it is. These people see me, but they remember the bully officer. And I have become in the same place as the bully officer. I have become the same person as the bully officer. And that's a shame. That's a real shame that people are looked at like that. That sounds like another topic. But anyway, that is something that happens. Bully officer screws up, and now all of us are taking the hit for it. Number 4. Co-workers stop visiting you at the lobby desk. Oh, here's another story out of Florida. Hold on, I need a drink for this one. This is... An officer was not only a bully, but he said a whole lot of inappropriate things in front of women. He was another example of a person who couldn't adapt. Probably didn't even realize he was a bully. He was a smart guy, he wasn't stupid, but he just felt way too comfortable in his surroundings. He would get on people if they were wearing an ID badge in a place where he didn't think was appropriate. You know how people usually wear it on their belt and everything. That wasn't good enough for him. And he wouldn't let them. He stood at an entrance once with a notepad and a piece of paper because he would take down their names. He wouldn't let them pass until they put it up on their shirt where he wanted to look at them. Bad call. Bad call. Let me go a step further when I say inappropriate comments. We had a visitor come in. Part of the process for registering guests was they had to, they're at the desk and we had a little webcam there that took a picture of them for their little temporary sticker badge. Well, this woman was a little bit too close and the camera was pointing at a place where we really didn't need to see that, and she would have been embarrassed. All he had to do was say, hey, can you back up a few steps? And then grab the webcam, point it up to her face a little bit more, snap the picture. He says, can you back up a few steps? We don't need to see the girls. Ouch! Why? Why would you say something like that? But after a while, he said enough things around people where some folks that used to visit us all the time at the desk, they stopped coming around. They knew he'd be there, and they just stopped coming around. It took weeks after this guy was fired for these people to come back to us. He terrified people. The bullying, the inappropriate comments, all that stuff. He verbally bullied me. Of course, I grew up near Pittsburgh, and I let him have it right back, and he never tried it again. He bullied another officer once and almost got destroyed in the lobby for it, No details. Again, deathbed, retired. I'll get to it. Anyway, that's a big one because it takes a while to recover. And number five. The rest of the security staff has to work so hard to regain the trust of the people. Again, we all look the same, so people start seeing our uniform and they see the bully. We lose people coming up to the desk to talk to us, and we have to work hard to get them back. And it's really hard work to regain people's trust once you've lost it. You have to go out of your way. You got to think outside the box. You got to figure out creative ways to let these people know, hey, this is not the kind of department we are. We unfortunately got this jerk in here against our will, and we're dealing with him too, just like you are. But rest assured, this face here, don't look at the uniform. Look at this face, because you know me. You know I'm not like that. You know the other officers aren't like that. Just look here. All right? Eyes up. That's a famous thing. Eyes up here. Up here. I'm not that person. But you have to do that again and again and again sometimes to regain the people's trust. So that is a little 5-star chat about bullies. Again, I mentioned adaptability, and I think that's going to be another topic for a different day. But anyway, thanks for stopping by again, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.